What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. Now, if you think you're ready to sit on the throne of this powerful competitive deck, well, you're gonna need some Dino DNA. Let me introduce you to True King Dinosaurs. True King Dinosaurs are a deck focused on dominating the board with the use of its absurdly potent dinosaur worm-type monsters. The strength of this deck lies in its ability to overwhelm our opponents with its incredible offense and stun capabilities. One advantage of the True King Dinosaur deck is that it's an excellent deck moving into Link format come July, since the deck doesn't necessarily rely on having multiple extra deck monsters on the field at any given time. Most of the deck's firepower rests in the main deck, but having access to cards like Evil Zarlagia, Evil Zardolka, and True King of all Calamities is just a bonus. Another advantage of the True King Dinosaur deck is that a weaker but still extremely viable version of this deck can be played on a decent budget compared to other more expensive competitive options. While it may not win a YCS, being able to play a competitive deck of this caliber for a fraction of the price of other meta options is a great way to keep up with the competition and start winning some local tournaments. Let's start by covering the monster lineup. Beginning with the dinosaurs, Baby Ceratosaurus and Petite Pteranodon may not be the most intimidating dinosaurs at our disposal, but looks can be very deceiving. While either one of these baby dinosaurs is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, as a mandatory effect, Baby Ceratosaurus special summons one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from our deck, while Petite Pteranodon special summons one level 4 or higher dinosaur monster from our deck, but it cannot attack the turn it's summoned. The most significant aspect of these baby dinosaurs is that their effects are not once per turn, meaning that their effects are begging for abuse, and the True King Dinosaur deck has a plethora of potential cards we can use to abuse these baby dinosaurs as frequently as possible. Next up, Soul Eating Oviraptor is one of our main starter and combo cards, and everything you could possibly want in this deck. 1800 attack, level 4, and when normal or special summoned, you can either add one dinosaur monster from deck to hand, or send one dinosaur monster from deck to grave. Oviraptor allows us to tutor for any of our other powerful dinosaurs, such as the baby dinosaurs for combo plays, Miscellaneousaurus for protection, or even Ultimate Conductor Tyranno for a solid finisher. Oviraptor also has another effect where once per turn you can target one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster on the field, destroy it, then special summon one dinosaur monster from your graveyard in defense position. This effect is insane for a few reasons. Not only does this effect allow us to access dinosaurs in our graveyard for either extended combos or rank 4 plays with Oviraptor, but it allows us to trigger our baby dinosaurs as well, further extending our plays for even more powerful possibilities. Miscellaneousaurus is next in the lineup, also boasting 1800 attack and a level of 4. During either player's main phase, you can send Miscellaneousaurus from your hand to the graveyard to protect all dinosaur monsters you control from your opponent's activated effects for the duration of the main phase. This is useful because you can either use this effect preemptively to bestow blanket protection to your field of dinosaurs, or you can surprise your opponent and chain Miscellaneousaurus to one of your opponent's activated effects and force them to waste their resources. Miscellaneousaurus also has another effect where once per turn you can banish any number of dinosaurs from your graveyard, including Miscellaneousaurus, and special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck with a level equal to the total number of dinosaur monsters you banished with this effect. This effect has so much flexibility because it allows us to extend our plays, recover our board if our opponent interrupts us early to mid combo, and can also allow us to go in for an OTK in the right situation. Do not underestimate the power of this card. And speaking of power, introducing the incredibly broken dinosaur monster, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno comes with a massive 3500 attack power and has one of the simplest summoning conditions in the game, being able to be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can destroy one other monster in either your hand or on the field, and if you do, change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. I don't know what makes this effect more broken. The fact that it's not a hard once per turn, meaning you could possibly use this effect multiple times across several Tyrannos, the fact that it doesn't target, or the fact that it's a quick effect. Now, if that weren't enough, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can also attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, And at the start of the damage step, if it attacks a defense position monster, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent, and if you do, send that defense position monster to the graveyard, being able to dodge destruction effects. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is one of the craziest boss monsters you could ever wish for in an archetype. Now, rounding out our dinosaur lineup, we have Dirac Aolo, Dogoran the Mad Flame Kaiju, and Tyranno Infinity. While Dirac Aolo's effect is completely useless in this deck, its purpose is to act as a level 1 tuner that can be special summoned off of the baby dinosaurs, allowing us to access level 5 and level 9 synchro plays. As for Dogoran, it's nice to have a card that can out any problematic monster in the game, but it's also nice that Dogoran is a dinosaur, meaning that we can search it off of Oviraptor. And lastly, running Tyranno Infinity really comes down to a player preference. While it has the potential to be a dead card, being able to summon out a 4000 attack beater off of a Miscellaneousaurus graveyard effect, and OTKing your opponent out of nowhere can sound rather enticing. Now, this deck wouldn't be True King Dinosaurs without the True King, so let's introduce True King Lithosogym the Disaster. While Lithosogym is in your hand, you can special summon him by destroying 2 other monsters either on the field or in your hand, including an Earth monster. Lithosogym essentially allows us to enable the effects of our baby dinosaurs, converting Lithosogym's cost into card advantage. Since Lithosogym is searchable via Dragonic Diagram and Terraforming by extension, that gives us 9 ways to access Lithosogym, making it a reliable outlet for triggering the baby dinosaurs. Now, as part of the same effect, if both of the monsters destroyed by Lithosogym's effect were Earth, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 monsters with different names. That sort of information can be invaluable, and banishing their best extra deck monsters can be devastating, especially on turn 1. Lithosogym's inclusion in the deck is mandatory, but I feel it's also important to mention 2 other True Kings, Agnimazod and Barastos. Agnimazod and Barastos have the same summoning condition as Lithosogym, except using monsters of their own respective attributes. Agnimazod isn't too difficult to summon, considering that deck naturally contains several fire monsters, and if both destroyed monsters were fire, you can banish a monster from your opponent's field or graveyard, but Barastos is actually near impossible to special summon due to the absence of water monsters in the main deck. Barastos serves as a combo piece for its ability to special summon a non-water worm type monster from the deck when it's destroyed by a card effect, enabling you to summon True King of all calamities in tandem with another True King such as Lithosogym. An optional addition to the deck I feel that's worth mentioning is a small complement of Yang Zing monsters, as their inclusion introduces a completely new dynamic to the way the deck functions. For the main deck, we're specifically going to be focusing on Suwani, Bian, and Chiwen. Apart from having attribute synergy with the Earth and Fire True Kings, the Yang Zings allow us to bolster our synchro capabilities and enable plays that would otherwise be impossible for this deck to perform, both offensively and defensively. Lastly, depending on the meta, you're going to want to reinforce your deck with strong hand traps such as Max C, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, or Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom and Max C have dual utility since their attributes fall right in line with fulfilling the summoning requirements of the True Kings. Now, when it comes to the extra deck, True King Dinosaurs have a lot of powerful Synchro and Xyz monsters at their disposal. Starting with the Synchros, Denglong, first of the Yang Zing, is not only useful for its searching capabilities, but also for acting as another outlet for summoning True King of all calamities. High Speedroid Chunbara is great for OTKs and is surprisingly easy to make consistently in this deck. Then you've got your heavy hitters like Black Rose Dragon, Boxia, Psyframe Lord Omega, and Trishula. As for the Xyz monsters, since we are playing Dinosaurs, Evilzar Lagia and Dolka are natural inclusions and can be devastating at the right moment. Tornado Dragon is good for generic spell and trap removal, while Castel can pretty much answer any annoying threat that's face up on the board. And finally, I already mentioned it once before, but there's a reason that the True King of all calamities was formerly called the Beast in Japan. Moving on to the spell lineup, it should come as no surprise that we're maxing out on Dragonic Diagram, as well as Terraforming so we can access Diagram as quickly as possible. Dragonic Diagram enables so many different powerful plays for this deck that seeing it turn 1 is almost essential. Since the spell lineup is focusing on consistency, it should also come as no surprise that we're also maxing out on Fossil Dig, a themed reinforcement of the army for Dinosaurs, giving us access to any dinosaur in our deck, aside from Ultimate Conductor, Tyranno, or Dogoron. However, by searching Oviraptor with Fossil Dig, you then have access to either of these monsters as well. Since this deck can suffer from some consistency issues, running the one copy of Upstart Goblin will slightly improve your chances of getting to your combo pieces quicker. And finally, Soul Charge is just insane, allowing you to amass some ridiculously broken boards and also giving the deck some much needed recovery. When it comes to the trap lineup, it really comes down to personal preference. Since True King Dinosaurs is a deck that relies on having as many combo pieces as possible to establish a strong board, and also to potentially play through opposing back row and hand traps, we're going to want to play a very small selection of traps to minimize dead cards. If you choose to go the trap route, the obvious picks here are Dimensional Barrier, Solemn Strike, and Solemn Warning for their sheer versatility. Call the Haunted is also nice since it enables some extended combos and can also revive a successfully summoned Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in a pinch. And lastly, if you're opting to play the Yang Zing package, you'll want to complete that package with a single copy of 9 Pillars of Yang Zing. It's searchable via Denglong, and it's basically free removal at spell speed 3. I really hope you guys enjoyed this introduction to True King Dinosaurs. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content, and if you found this video helpful, consider backing me on Patreon, because just by pledging only $1 a month, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.